I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome Miyu to the show. Hi.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I am Miyu. I am a dear barista VTuber as well as a barista in real life, and I have been a streamer since 2019.
Wow.
I have been in this business for a while.
You're a super veteran when it comes to streaming.
Yeah,
Well, I should be
definitely.
so folks. If you have any questions about streaming whatsoever, Miyu is the person to talk to because they've been through everything.
I haven't. Oddly enough, I have been through everything. not kidding.
Well, you guys started. So you guys started even before the COVID shutdown.
Yeah, when the whole COVID spiel kind of happened, that's when like probably my following and my view count kind of went up.
Yeah,
And
but
that's when I started getting more into streaming.
yeah. So what got you into it in the first place?
So I was a shy kind of girl throughout middle school and high school. And like one of my friends, I was in college when this was all happening. And they were like, maybe the best way for you to like get out there, maybe try like you like video games, try streaming it. And I'm like, oh, I'll try. I'll try doing that. And then ever since then, I just enjoyed like playing video games as my hobby, and
Yeah.
then just growing and growing and making like all kinds of interesting friends on the internet, as well as just like
Yeah.
having my little dream come true.
Yeah. Absolutely. Has it been easy for you, being a self-confessed shy person, to find internet friends?
At the beginning, it was really hard
Mm.
because as I said, I was really shy. So when I was like going on the internet trying to make friends at first, I was like, I had no clue what I was doing.
Mm.
Oddly enough, I was like liking people's like posts like on Twitter before it was called X.
Yeah.
And I was like going onto other people's streams trying to like talk.
Yeah.
I was so painfully shy. I was very much a lurker, and I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Shy finger, please.
Yeah. Don't
And
get totally shunned before we even get started.
exactly, I
Yeah.
didn't want to like cause like trouble when I started out, because I was like very much like a goody two shoes as well. I was like, I don't want to do anything that will make people angry. I want to be a people pleaser.
Well,
Now I just don't care.
with old age comes all that goes right out the window. You just don't care anymore.
Yeah, just like I'm not a people pleaser no more.
Well, I mean, evidently you are in some regard because folks are sticking with
But yeah,
you.
in some regard, yeah.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if I say something that probably a lot of people don't particularly agree with me about, and they come up to me like, maybe you shouldn't say that, I'm like, I know what I said.
Well, I mean, you sign your name to it, don't you? That's.
Exactly.
I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to go on and be completely anonymous and shoot your shot and leave, and it's another thing to say what you want, say what you mean, and then stick behind it. There's a big difference there. And
yeah, there is a big difference.
and all of it shows up on the internet for sure. You got
It never leaves.
yes.
It stays.
Have you had random snipers come at you?
Sadly, back in the beginning of 2020, I did get doxxed
Ah,
and had like, some sort of snipers, go to like my Twitter, my Discord, all my social media, and that was probably the biggest downside of my streaming career, because I had to make whole new accounts for everything.
it's just such a. I don't understand why people feel the need to do that, but
Me neither.
especially when it's just much easier. If you don't like somebody online, don't watch them.
Yeah,
Mm,
literally block and move on.
yeah.
Like that's
If
every time I see somebody like post something on Twitter or say something like very controversial that I don't like, I just block. I don't even say anything
yeah,
anymore. I used to,
yeah,
but
yeah,
not anymore.
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you engage, most times you don't. it's
Yeah.
it's easier to run away and live for another day when it comes to these things because you never know how toxic they're going to be with it, especially if you don't know the person, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
know how sticky they're going to be with it, and that
Yeah.
they're going to bring it up to you 20 months later, um, and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about anymore at that point.
Yeah, with the whole doxing thing was also probably the time that I sat down with like my family and told them about my streaming,
Hmm. And what they say.
and they were very supportive.
Good. Well, good.
My mom and my grandmother were like, "Oh yeah, go for it." And like when I was like looking for like a VTuber model, like my first VTuber model, my grandmother was like searching all over the internet for like the cheapest option
Oh,
that
cool.
I could do.
Yeah.
Like, and they're still so supportive. Like even my mom, doesn't have a Twitch account,
Yeah.
sadly, but she likes to lurk in my streams while she's like doing stuff when I'm streaming, which is nice.
It is nice, but then you
So
can't get away with anything either.
no, like my mother hears me like says like like the unhinged comments like over anything, and she like texts me on Facebook and she's like, "I know you did not get this attitude from me." I was like, "Nah, I got it from you, mom."
Yep, yep. I got it from you. It's direct.
It's direct, mom.
The genes were
And yeah,
the genes were handed straight down from you. That's where I got it.
that's what I tell her every single time.
Well, it's good to
And
have the family behind you with it because I know there are some
oh yeah,
instances where the family is like, "What in the world are you doing? Why are you doing this at all?" That type of thing.
yeah.
That
Like I'm not making like a lot of money through it, which I really truly don't care. I'm in it for fun.
hmm
But like my mom and my dad are always so hopeful, like, "Oh, you're gonna make it big sometime." I'm like, "You guys have too much faith in me."
Yeah, but you never know. You know,
Yeah, you never know.
yeah. I
There could
mean,
be like I do something pretty darn stupid and all of a sudden it just blows up overnight.
yeah. Well,
I'm waiting for that time.
I mean, if somebody comes up and hands you $1 million, you
Man,
you could
if
just
someone handed me $1 million, I would quit streaming right away. But like, okay, bye. I'm graduating. I'm living my life now.
to keep streaming. I meant.
No,
No,
I definitely don't know how long I intend on streaming. I've
yeah,
been
but it's still fun for you, is it?
Yeah, still fun for me right now.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you like to stream with? What type of games and stuff do you play?
I like I very much am a person that likes to like engage my creative side.
Hmm.
I'm autistic.
Hmm.
Um, so I like games that give me a lot of stimulation. So like Minecraft, Helldivers, Power World, League of Legends, Fortnite. Like I am such a variety streamer. I like playing any games I can get my hands on.
Helldivers certainly gives you input.
Oh yeah, that ooh.
Wow,
Got my family into that game and we
really?
actually played it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we
funny.
actually played it the other day and
Oh,
I had a blast
oh my
listening
gosh.
to my parents scream.
I always used to think that you should call that just hell dyers because you're evidently just going to die anyway. It's keep shooting until your character falls over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
I always have that secret goal for myself to try not to die, but I fail very miserably.
it's great to see that there are some games that aren't, I wouldn't say aren't super puzzling to play, but are just fun to go up there and just hack and swing at and enjoy yourself. And that seems to be
Hmm.
one of them. You don't have to read a War and Peace to enjoy that game.
Oh yeah. It um I guess but mostly like my main goal for when I started like at first for streaming it was like try to make friends, try to
Mhm.
come out of my bubble. Now for me it's just have fun and just roll with it.
Hmm. Have you?
That's pretty much what I view my streaming,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Has
If that makes
this
sense.
has this carried over to your non-streaming life?
Actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole have fun and roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually sat down with my manager the other day saying I would normally not be like this kind of person if I worked here when I was, or I started working when I was 18. When I was 18, I did not like talking to customers. I just would like speed through their orders as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, how's your day? How's school? Like what are your plans? Like it's definitely streaming has changed my life.
Mm.
I I'm pretty happy I started.
Yeah. Well, we are
um
too.
oh yeah.
Yeah. We're happy you're started and still rolling, but it's
Thank
good to
you.
see that it's given you kind of an outlet to bloom a little bit, and then take that in
Hmm.
and adapt it to your own life, and where you know maybe it's opening up some things for you.
It has opened up a lot of things. One of the things though that I try not to do actually in real life is tell people I'm a VTuber, especially for where I live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I when I worked last year, I did tell people I was a VTuber, and I had like people kind of look at me funny.
Yeah.
Now I just say I'm a streamer,
Yeah. That makes
not a
makes
VTuber.
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because for someone who doesn't know what's going on with it, you say VTuber, and their
Mm-hmm.
mind immediately goes to something that most VTubers aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And
Actually,
mm,
one person asked me if I'm like a quote unquote streamer, if that makes any sense. And I'm like, no, I'm not that kind of streamer.
yeah, 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 yeah. But and then you have to explain it to them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, okay."
Yeah, it's always fun to explain.
But you don't have to explain now. I mean, you're able to both keep it separate and have adapt some things to how you handle day to day life, which is great.
Hmm.
It really
It is
seems like,
great.
again, this I tell this to some folks, but it seems like this is kind of meant for you to do.
Yeah, there was a time where I did not stream for an entire year because I really truly didn't feel like streaming was for me.
Uh
But like throughout that entire year, all I felt like is I wanted to go back on and stream and play video games.
huh.
But I just was kept constantly telling myself like, nah, no. Because like I was in that moment where I was just stuck on this one following for a very long time, just not gaining any followers, was not gaining any views
Mhm.
or any chatters. And I was just like, this isn't meant for me. And when I finally decided, like, or when I watched Iron Mouse and I saw that she had like a model and everything, and she was like gaining such like a popularity, I was like, I want to do that. And that's when everything kind of just skyrocketed. I started just gaining more friends, more followers, more chatters, and it just I was like, this was meant to be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting, because were you did you act differently once you had the model, or do you think you acted the same?
I acted pretty much the same. Um a little shy, not as talkative. Um and I was like a face cam person. Like I had like my face being shown, and just having like a model where people don't see your face and you could be this whole new character definitely brought out my confidence
Mm-hmm.
and made me who I am now. Like people don't have to see my face. Well, now I do show my face on the internet because sadly, as I said, I was doxxed.
Well, I mean, if people want to,
And
and unfortunately, and everybody's got to realize this, and I hope they do.
mhm.
If people really want to find you, they'll find you. Um,
Yeah, like
if you have somebody who's that obsessed, unfortunately, whatever you put up on the internet, they can find.
Yeah.
You just gotta, you know, keep going. And obviously, you adapted and continued, um,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't let it take you completely out. And here
Oh yeah.
you're still going strong.
Yeah. Man, when that whole situation happened, I remember sitting down with my mod team and I'm like, guys, I don't know. I don't know if I should continue. Sorry, my dog just jumped up at me.
That's okay. Hello, dog.
Yeah, he's my emotional support pup. But
Yeah.
when that whole situation happened, like as I said, I sat with my mod team. Was like, guys, I don't know if I should even continue. This is crazy because, as I said, they leaked every single one of my socials, and I was just having like trolls or perverts
Mm,
or just like all these weird messages coming from a whole bunch of different people, and I was like, I don't know, like
yeah.
I was at that point about to graduate, but I remember like my grandmother and like my moderators were telling me like don't let some little hiccup take away from what you enjoy and what you love.
Mm,
And I was like, you know what, you're right.
mm-hmm.
And I remember taking my grandmother's advice and saying just ignore it, block and move on. And ever since then, that's just been my thing, just to block and move on.
That's cool. That's really good. And
My dog yelling at me about going outside.
yeah. Uh, well, I can tell you this. You're getting through that. I'm going to guess was probably a little harder than someone who isn't on the spectrum going through that. Am I out of bounds by saying that?
Oh no, you're not out of bounds. As I said, I am on the autism spectrum, and I also have ADHD, and I
Mm-hmm.
have severe depression and severe anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So when that whole situation happened, I was actually pretty much in and out of the hospital because of the panic attacks and sadly self harm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in a very all time low, and just it was really awful, especially when I I like to I hate to say this, like I feel like especially with my autism, I'm a little more sensitive of my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Tend to get hurt a little easier sometimes.
Understandable.
And just that whole situation was a learning experience for me about myself in general, because also back in 2019 is when I first found out about my diagnosis. I
Mm-hmm.
pretty much grew up being told that I had a disability. They didn't know what it was.
Right. Yeah.
And going through that whole experience while I'm still trying to learn about myself was overall difficult for me. But here I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I sit in my chair sometimes, telling myself, I do not know how I made it, but I did.
Well, I can tell you how you made it, and I don't even
Mm.
don't even know you from just talking here. Is that you got a big block of courage in there that
Oh
you
yeah.
that you fell back on, and I don't know if you realized you had it or not, but it takes that sometimes just to get through day to day
Mm.
stuff, and you
Oh
had to have it
yeah.
in spades.
Oh yeah. And it also very much helps that now, since I found out my diagnosis, I have a lot of help.
Hmm.
I can just a call away, call my case manager, and be like, I need to go talk to a therapist.
Hmm.
Boom.
Yeah,
Like
and folks, there's
it's
there's nothing wrong with that. You need to go talk to
oh yeah.
somebody. Talk to them.
Oh yeah. I'm very therapy positive. I know a lot of people are like, I don't believe in therapy. And I'm like, that's totally fine. But sometimes I just really kind of try to lean people towards that. Like sometimes just talking about it with a complete stranger who has, I like to say, an NDA of not allowed to go and tell your story to other people.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like,
And
they can't go around talking smack about you
yeah,
or say anything to their friends, but like you can tell them what you're going through.
yeah. They
And it's overall really nice.
and they give you a
And
fresh set of eyes too.
they give a lot of really good advice.
Yeah.
My first therapist was the one who advised me to get dogs.
Hmm.
So I have like that sense of responsibility because at a time I felt like I was stuck
Yeah.
and didn't have a lot of responsibility. And she's like, get dogs. And boom, now I have 2 dogs.
Yeah. Would you like a few cats? We've got 9.
Wow, now that's a lot of responsibility.
Well, we originally had 2, and then 7 showed up.
They were like, hi,
Yeah, they
we
were.
live here now.
Yeah, they were outdoor releases from the spay and release folks, and they all come to our door.
Mm.
So yeah, we're surrounded. But the for the therapy stuff, it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing for
Mhm.
a living. It doesn't matter if you can go in and get some help, do it. And
Oh yeah.
I can say that as a person who's benefited from it myself quite a few
Mhm.
times in my life. It would it can't hurt. If you don't like it, then stop. But
Yeah, if you don't like receiving the help that you're getting, it's okay to like just stop.
yeah, yeah, it's also okay to send either me or myself a lot of money.
Yes.
I
I won't be complaining.
I'm just going to throw that in there. All we need is one person. We're set.
Oh yeah, just one.
the it's great to know that you. I imagine for you, looking back now, it's great to know that you got through what could have been an absolutely devastating experience,
hmm
and you have thrived from it.
Oh yeah, I definitely have thrived from it. If you probably told little 18-year-old me about where I am right now, I would just look at you like, "Pfft, nah, and then just go back to making coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Throw coffee at me and think, yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
and
Yeah.
I'd be like, again, throwing coffee at me again. Jeez,
Man,
yeah, this has been a rough day. It's
been a
great.
rough day.
It's great to hear that this is really not just that you're enjoying it and you're
Mhm.
becoming successful at it, but it has expanded your horizons as well.
It really has.
Well, it's
Um, I've met such like amazing people and like also developed like some skills just from being in the VTubing community that I sit here sometimes like, wow, this is crazy.
how did this happen
Like,
to me?
yeah, how did this happen to me?
Well, I mean, it's obviously the proof is in the pudding, and people coming back to watch and for someone who grew up, a little bit shy and on the spectrum, to
Mhm.
realize that people are intentionally coming back because they like you. How does that hit you?
Um, I also did want to say there was a time, I feel like a lot of people go through this though, where you're just very self-doubting yourself and you're just like always kind of really banging yourself up. So when people like were coming back to my streams and just continuing talking to me and just engaging with me and my community, like for a while it was very hard for me to accept it because I was like, why do you like me? Because I don't like myself.
Hmm. Yeah,
And that's when I really started going through therapy and learning to like myself. And um, I know this probably sounds a little selfish, but yeah, I really, really like myself. And I feel like because of me liking myself, people really starting to like me.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, um, especially knowing what you've gone through. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to get here from there is a trip, and
Mm-hmm.
you managed to go from here to there, and I hope you're proud of that because you should be.
Oh, I
and
am very proud of myself.
and people should recognize.
Yeah,
What?
people should recognize.
Yeah.
Like, I always tell this to everybody that, like, if you really truly like yourself, trust me, people probably will be more, they will gravitate towards you.
Hmm.
Because I do have, like, sadly, a lot of friends who very much have a lot of self doubt. I'm like, nah, like, you're great. Like, I'm sitting here thinking you're great.
Mm.
And I sit and I really try to encourage people to do a lot of self discovery, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's another reason for you to keep going, to show people that.
Oh, yeah. Keep on going.
Well,
Keep on trucking.
yeah. And now you get to be an example for people. How about that?
I sometimes am a little shocked that I am like some sort of an example to people. I cried over this yesterday because I
Uh,
was like, I was having a moment. People
mhm.
actually telling me that they looked up to me a lot. And I was like, ah,
Stop. It's a,
literally being told that I bring a smile to their face. I'm like, oh, gosh, that like I didn't know I did that, but thank you.
it's Garsh.
Gosh, literally turned into Goofy.
That's right. Gorsh,
Oh, bless.
Mickey. Yeah, but
I
it,
love
it
Goofy.
it is absolutely great to hear that this has gone so well for you, and that you continue to light other people's lives while yours has gotten a few extra lights of its own. That's
Mm-hmm.
very good to hear.
Oh, yeah.
One of the main reasons we do these interviews is to hear stories like this, and people who have overcome things that maybe other people are still going through or can avoid
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and we hear their stories. And I've said this many times. I'll say it again. People are not the products of their circumstances. They are the triumphs
Mm-hmm.
that emerge from those circumstances.
Mm-hmm. I
You
like that.
are a triumph.
Hell yeah, I am.
Absolutely. Folks, folks
I sit here and I always am constantly telling myself, like, you have been through a lot, but you are strong and you made it through every single one of those little bumps in the road.
yeah,
You should be proud of yourself.
yeah,
I say that all the time.
yeah,
Okay, buddy. Sorry,
and
my dog's sitting here looking at me.
yeah, outside. Trying to convey to you that outside
Outside.
walk now.
Outside. Walkie's mother.
Yes, Mia, I am very pleased to have met you here, and thank you so much for sharing your story and your talents and what you've gone through and being a you're a role model.
Thank you. I was so excited when you sent me that message on Twitter. I was like, yes, I will do that interview.
Oh, well, I
Dead ass.
I do appreciate it because this is it's a great story, and it's something that I hope people take to heart, and people
Mhm.
not only that, but people flock to all of your stuff, which we're going to have in the description for the video here up on the YouTube channel. When you get some big things happening on the channel, got some changes coming up, let me know so we can update everybody. Okay?
All right, definitely.
Miyu, thank you so much.
No, thank you. This has been a blast.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.